All right, everybody. So for a little while now, a lot of really popular right-wing content creators, demagogues and media personalities who have just really dominated the right-wing space and dominated the online space on Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Shorts, basically any of the social media, video sharing platforms or idea sharing platforms you might be on. These content creators have dominated it, and they have been, for a hot minute now, pushing this gay groomer narrative. We've all heard it. Listen, I'm cishet, and it annoys me at this point. I mean, it's been annoying me for a while, but it's gotten to the point where it's actually upsetting, on an internal level when I see it, because of a variety of reasons. I want to preface all of this before we get into what's actually going on. There has been a countless number of times that I have seen transphobes and other, I'll just outright say queerphobes in general, who have really made it their platform talking about how gays are groomers and they're trying to hurt kids or whatever. I have seen countless of these very same people be arrested and themselves outed as predators, and in many cases, predators of children. And we all come to find out, or they self-report it in some way, right? Just like Matt Walsh has done multiple times, who we're going to be talking about in a minute. So it's not just that these are people who are using their massive platforms and their extraordinary wealth and resources to push hate, because they're hate mongers, hate merchants, but they're also themselves child predators in a lot of cases that are projecting that onto the left and onto the queer community, onto trans people, onto gay people. Pick. That they don't really care. They'll accuse anybody who is LGBT of being a groomer or a pedo, have an opinion they don't like, or publicly be LGBT online, and you'll get okay groomer comments, right? And it's where are you coming from with these groomer accusations, right? And I'm sure many of them have been brainwashed, but a whole lot of them themselves are predators, which also shouldn't surprise you when you consider the fact that considering particularly young girls to be not humans deserving of rights, autonomy, or respect, when that is a pretty standard idea in your political ideology, yeah, there's a lot of people in that political ideology who are going to end up being groomers and actual child predators, right? There's a lot of kitty diddlers on the right. This isn't really a big revelation, or at least it shouldn't be for you. If it is, then, well, now you know. Now you know, and you'll be all the safer for it. Anyway, the right are themselves composed of a massive amount of predators, in many cases child predators, projecting their guilt onto queer people. That's pretty cringe. And they have called many times for the criminalization of being trans, the criminalization of transitioning generally, all of the things you might do to transition, the criminalization of presenting yourself in drag or gender non-conforming manners in public. You can basically go down. There's been over 1,000, I think it was over 1,000 anti-LGBT bills were proposed in America in last year, right? Is it less or more, chat? Can you correct me on this if I'm wrong? If I remember correctly, it was over 1,000 anti-LGBT bills were pushed. Obviously, not even near that many passed, but they were drafted and were actually looked at. Anyway, yeah. Also, of course, Matt Walsh, probably the current leader of the gay groomer panic, himself has talked about how 13 to 16-year-old girls are completely fine for older men to be attracted to, and that the left and feminism are responsible for increasing the age of consent to older in life, and that this is some form of coddling of our society that we're doing by having such a high age of consent. Yeah, it's just conservatives are yeah, I do agree, Mr. Bureau. Conservatives are naturally predisposed to sexually deviant behaviors. It's absolutely true, and they are very much projectors of that. So, with all that said, the fact that Matt Walsh specifically, he has said this, as well as a lot of the other conservatives that he's friends with and those that follow him, have talked about how they want to criminalize a lot of actions associated with, or just straight up being gay or trans, right? Well, let's take a look at what Matt Walsh thinks should be done to criminals who commit petty crimes such as drug dealing, so like it could be selling weed or anything like that, and vandalism and thievery. Vandalism and thievery. Let's look at what Matt Walsh thinks should be done. So he quote tweets this post that's like, "I'm just in awe of Singapore's airport." And then Matt Walsh quote tweets it because, of course, an airport is a perfect representation of how successful and prosperous a country is, saying Singapore is able to have nice things in part because they execute drug dealers by hanging and arrest even petty vandals and thieves and beat them with a cane until they bleed. We don't have nice things because we aren't willing to do that. Do what is required to maintain them. There are some accusing me of advocating similar laws in this country, and I just want to clarify that yes, I absolutely want those laws in this country. So he clarifies for anybody who might want to claim he's joking. And of course, he gets 30,000 likes and then 11,000 likes. I want to be clear. There are scores of thousands of people in this country who want to kill you. Arm yourself. Because if the day ever comes where you have to defend yourself, I say better them than you. Better than you. Any day, better them than you. I just want to be very clear. This is a guy who thinks that being gay and presenting any, like, non-gender conforming anything should be criminalized, and he wants to have criminals in America, obviously drug dealers executed by hanging, so like lynching, right? And obviously, if you look at the majority of drug offenses in this country, it's disproportionately policed and incarcerated are black people. So basically, this is him saying, lynch black people. He wants to hang and lynch black people. That's what he's saying here. It's pretty obvious. And the next thing he says is petty vandals. Arrest even petty vandals and thieves is how he words it. And beat them with a cane until they bleed. Conservatives will not disagree with this. Conservatives will not see this and think, oh wow, this guy's insane and anti-freedom. I don't like this. Their buttholes clench with excitement when they read something like that. All right? A lot of these people are way too far gone. And I think Matt Walsh is honestly at the point where he has given up pretty much any, I guess, preconceived notion that he should be treated like a human being, right? I genuinely do think that Matt Walsh is unironically subhuman, like in such a way that, like, well, I can't really say. What can I say on stream to really get across what I'm saying here? Like, if I found out Matt Walsh died tomorrow, there would not be an ounce of sadness over that. And I would not put up with anybody doing the whole, like, don't celebrate this person's death. Don't celebrate this person's death. No. If Matt Walsh died tomorrow, or dies in 10 years or whatever it may be, all right? I don't want to hear any fucking centrists complaining about people celebrating his death, because I'll be celebrating his death, and I think a lot of you should be as well, because he's just genuinely a bad person. And unfortunately, it doesn't seem like Tech Valley or Silicon Valley, whatever the fuck these conservatives call it, Silicon Valley lefty cancel culture, whatever, is going to do anything about it. So yeah, genuine subhuman. I should be clear, by the way, the only reason why I'm fed posting right now is because Matt Walsh is legitimately calling for, like, the execution of you. He's actively on the largest social media platform in the world with 1.3 million followers and 30.6 thousand likes, advocating for the execution of petty thieves and vandals and drug dealers, and most certainly, as we've seen many other Republicans push for, the execution of gay people. And of course, if you look at Alabama a few months ago, they pushed a bill to try to bring the gas chamber back, the Zyklon B, like I think it was Zyklon B, gas chambers that they used, the same stuff they used in the Holocaust, to the Nazis did, to bring those back for executing death row inmates in Alabama. And I don't know if it passed or not. I think it might have. Yeah, gas chambers have been a thing in the US for a while now. They got the idea from the Nazis. It's really fucked up, too. Yeah, but to be clear, these people are unironic Nazis. Listen, I was a little lad once who was on the internet, and I was watching these YouTube videos about the left accuses everybody who disagrees with their crazy agenda a Nazi. But you have to understand here, this guy is actively calling for the death penalty to apply to like 95% of crimes committed in this country or some shit like that. Like, the amount of American incarcerated that would be killed because of this is really high. And not only that, but a whole bunch of conservatives are liking this. It just ticked up to another 100 likes. It just went from 30.8k likes to 30.7k likes to 30.8k likes. People are still seeing it and liking it and retweeting it as well. Littering equals death. These people don't care about the environment. Yeah, so to be very clear, it has legitimately gotten to the point where these people are just mask off about wanting to commit a genocide, and I really don't know where it goes from here. Like, if the mainstream platforms won't take action, is all you can do at this point just to, like, mass at, like, mainstream media outlets calling for, like, an adpocalypse? Or, like, calling for, like, them to pressure Twitter for banning? Because, like, I don't know, I think even your average centrist might say that this guy who's actively made it his job to go after, as many minorities as possible with his Twitter account, and is now advocating for genocide, might be worth putting on the chopping block as far as Twitter is going. Elon probably wants to murder gays. Well, of course he does. He literally got cucked by a trans woman. He wants to kill the trans people too, but, like, he also wants to make money, so we'll see. We'll see what happens from here. I don't really know where you can go from just openly being in favor of genociding, like, petty criminals and gay people. Like, where you can go from there while being a large public figure. I mean, like, I guess Kanye has outright said that he loves Hitler and he's a Nazi, and he's still, like, Kanye. A lot of Kanye fans have refused to give up being a listener of his music or a fan of him, so who knows? We might legitimately be, like, much like we were back in 2014 to 2016, back in that age where, like, yeah, you can just be an open Nazi as a public figure, and you'll be massively famous. Like, not even just like, oh, you have a niche popularity, but, like, you will be a household name. I mean, you can be a sex trafficker and be a famous right-winger, like Andrew Tate. I think we're really at the critical mass of right-wing propaganda at this point. While we're talking about this, everyone, why not help a trans rapper escape Texas because I'd rather not die soon? Click that link, guys. Click Oxpecker's link. Committing genocide isn't that profitable, so Elon just might crack down on it on Twitter, hopefully. Nah, Elon Musk is an ego-driven narcissist, and trans people don't make up a portion of the population that really impact Elon Musk's bottom line that much, so I'm really sorry, but, yeah. Mass imprisonment and the forced labor that goes with it seem profitable? Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I don't know. Obviously, I'm not saying this is inevitable or it's going to happen. I'm saying this is what they're actively pushing for, and they're going mask off now about the fact that it's what they want. And I want to be clear at this point. Anyone who is a centrist about these figures now is an enemy of pretty much every marginalized group that Matt Walsh wants to have slaughtered. So, yeah. Fuck this guy. And fuck anybody who defends him, or him having a platform. With all that said, if you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like, subscribe, ring the bell icon if you haven't, so you always get notified when I go live or I upload a new video. You can also comment down below so YouTube pushes my content a little bit more, helps with the engagement. I really do appreciate it. It's completely free. And of course, you can also follow my social medias, which are all linked down below in the description of wherever you're watching. That'll allow you to see more of my, more of my activity on platforms that aren't the one you're watching on now. And of course, if you want to support me directly financially to help me save up for my move and whatnot, that's always extremely helpful and appreciated. You can do so on my website, xanderhall.com/live. You can click those two buttons up there to either donate, gift a sub, or just sub for yourself, or you can support me through YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, Stream Elements, or Patreon. With all that said, thank you so much for watching, and have a good one.